Learned my lesson on that one. All right, that's going. And now the stream is running. All right. So last time we met our 4 intrepid heroes, residents all of the city of Queensborough in the country of Ireland, which I don't know if we've discussed much yet. For various reasons, you were all summoned to Office 3E of the Kent building of Ravenbrook University, where a professor has gone missing. Police were involved. There was a crowd of students, and suddenly a section of Fey space and power seems to have interposed itself over the human world, sending you all into some kind of primordial Fey jungle / academic office. So you all began to navigate this very strange space. You successfully fought off a crowd of velociraptors, which turned out to be the same students who had been in the hallway when all of this started. So it seems as if something has polymorphed them into another shape. You successfully defeated them without killing them and began to navigate. You've heard some weird noises scattered throughout the office / forest. Sort of to the northeast, you heard some things, sort of some large creatures kind of rumbling and moving around. Slightly to the west of that, you heard what sounded like breaking bottles. And then in the far northwest corner, you heard something else sort of rumbling and moving around. Actually, that's not right. You heard snoring. You heard a large creature snoring. And you also heard the sound of like a space being ransacked. Cyrus, who is still wearing the shape of Detective Avery, which means that you all have not actually seen him yet, tried to sneak ahead and see what was going on, and found himself facing a small pack of some kind of hounds. First one, sort of adorable little pup sticking out of the high brush, then another, and then another, and another, and then some decidedly uncute, gigantic wolf-like creatures have just thunderously apparated into this space. And I believe that's right where we left off, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. We're going to go ahead and roll initiative.
I already did. Unless you want me to roll again.
Nah, you're good.
It was so close to a 15 and then it became a 5.
And I'm not going to lie, they rolled really well too. So, all right. And I can look at the game log and see everything. Neat. So Oryx coming in with a 16. Lexi with a 7. And how's Zyra doing?
12. I put it in.
All right. Oh, it's probably in the chat. Haha. Oh, shoot. I did the thing that I think crashes. Nope. I have no idea what causes Zoom to crash on Twitch. I thought I'd figured it out, and I haven't. All right. So the small pups are quick on their feet, and they get moving first. They had sort of a friendly inquisitiveness to them at first, but perhaps being egged on by the large creatures behind them, they are now looking at other options. So I am going to do some measurement. All right. Well, this pack of adorable little creatures is going to start going after Cyrus.
Whee!
They're only little fellas. So let's see. First one misses with a 5. Second one misses with a natural 1.
Man.
Third one only comes up with a 12. Last one, 17 to hit.
That'll hit.
All right. Four points of piercing damage. So this would be incredibly adorable if it wasn't for the giant wolves right behind them. So you have snuck up. The little pups are in front of you. The big wolves are in the back, and the little pups are all like, and they pounce, but they're kind of ineffectual. They're not very big creatures, and in fact, they seem lighter than you would expect. There's not a lot of mass to them, so they really struggle to kind of get through. I guess they're chomping into the illusion, which probably isn't helping, and then they can't get through the enchanted coat underneath.
Yeah.
One of them manages to just like get your ankle a little bit, and you just kind of like fling him away.
It's like Bonnie.
So they have gone. It is Oryx's turn.
Okay. So I'm guessing they're kind of in an arc around Cyrus.
Yes. So they're in kind of a reverse L shape with
Okay.
him in kind of the crux there.
And where are the big ones in relation to this?
The big ones are a little bit further back. The first one is about 35 to 40 feet back. The second one is 45 to 50 feet back.
Okay.
So no yet. No attacking yet.
Not going to hit all of them with what I wanted to do. So for now, I'll just firebolt the one that hit Cyrus.
All right. I'm going to move you up just a little bit so you have good line of sight and roll it.
Thought I did. There we go. Nope.
Nope.
Natural one.
7 will not do it. So you hear the sound of conflict starting. You see the giant hound pop up, and you just try and sort of peek around this. It's sort of like a long arcing corridor. And so you kind of peek around the corner, and you just sort of pull this bolt of gray and gold flame out of the air, and you fling it, and it arcs just a little bit wide, and kind of sizzles into the grass. Right. Anything else you want to do?
Oh, I moved up as well, right?
I only moved you about 10 feet. Do you want to go further?
Yeah, a little bit closer.
All right.
Not into melee range, though.
Oh, no. You got a lot of room before melee range. I moved you up 30 feet, and you're still 30 feet from the nearest hound.
Perfect. That's the range of a lot of things.
Yep. All right. So Oryx flings his firebolt and kind of runs forward. It is now the big pupper's turn. The large creature. Ironically, you have a puppy shield, and they can't actually get to you. For pack creatures, they didn't think this through.
Oh.
So the one in the back, it spots Oryx coming around the corner, and it's just going to take a dash action and plant itself in front of him. Doesn't have anything left to attack.
Do not appreciate.
The other one is also going to dash, and it's going to sort of get to the other side of Cyrus and wait for the pups to clear out. So they just make these big lumbering, like, the pups were so light you just kind of heard the brush moving. These ones are like Jurassic Park, boom, 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 just stomping their way through this space. And we are up to Zyra.
Zara's going to cast Vicious Mockery at the larger pup next to Cyrus.
All right.
Although, wait, is there one? Is one of the big ones in melee with me, or is
It actually can't get to you. The pups are actually forming. They're occupying all the spaces
okay?
that are adjacent to you, because you've
So
kind of
you-
got your side up against the thick forest line, and
Okay.
so
Then I'm gonna
ironically
hit,
they're protecting.
The one on that ran up to Auric.
okay, so I'm going to hit the one close to Auric then.
All right. What's the saving throw?
They'll need to make a save of 14. Wisdom.
Wisdom. All right. Oh, that is a 7.
Ouch.
They take 1 point of damage and will have disadvantage on its next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
All right. I have given it a purple dot to remind us which one it is.
Okay. And with my bonus action, I'm going to cast Healing Word at Cyrus.
Oh, what? Do you want to move up any?
5. Only only like 50 feet back.
Actually, we're gonna have to move you up a little bit for healing word. You are a goodly ways back.
I mean, both of them are range of 60 feet.
Yep, you're 75 right now. So
Well, I moved 15 feet up.
yep.
20.
And then moved back.
Maybe I just moved like 20 feet up and you just leave me there.
Yep, you are at the maximum range for those abilities. So you're as far back as you can be.
It's where I want.
So action, bonus action, movement. All right. That puts us to Cyrus, who has made lots of canine friends more quickly than he hoped.
All right. So can I get out of the crowd of pups without like leaving myself open to?
You're kind of pinned against a wall, basically. You've got that thick tree line up against your back, and basically there's small pooches all the way around, and then a larger creature just behind them.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's right. I don't have that unless I. All right, then I'm gonna bonus action steady aim to give myself advantage and attack with the short sword against one of the little dogs.
All right. So that advantage will give you sneak attack. So go ahead and roll. That'll hit.
Yeah, okay. Better, but no crit. So short sword does 7 and sneak attack does another 5 for a total of 12.
All right. You badly injure one of the hounds. The one who is sort of nearest you. But he does not go down yet.
Okay.
All right. Next up in the order is Lexi.
So I know my understanding is I'm pretty far back at this point. So I'm going to move forward so that I can be within melee range. I don't know who that might be closest to. Probably move towards Auric because he's got that giant dog on him.
And Auric and the wolf are the closest.
Okay,
Double checking your movement speed.
30 feet.
30 feet. Don't have that good barbarian juice going yet.
Nope.
So 30 feet would put you even with Zyra. If you dash, you can get up to Auric and the wolf.
Okay.
But that's using your
That's-
action. to
Action
move
as well.
in.
Okay, well, that's fine. I'll do that then.
All right. You are now up into melee range. You're really close to this wolf, and actually, you can kind of see. You've never seen a Fey wolf before, a Fey hound. There's some oddities to it. It has more of a slender build than you would expect. It's not as sort of thick coated as a wolf. It almost has a little bit of greyhound, a little bit alien. The
Okay.
proportions are just a little odd. There's like silvery streaks that run through the fur that are like glowing faintly. Yeah, it's a strange experience to be next to.
For a human, that would be a very strange experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they all look like this.
All right. The injured pup is first, the one that got hit by Cyrus's sword. It's going to be a sneaky devil, and you hear that high. Gotta lick my lips before I do it. And the one of the smaller hounds disappears, just like empty air, and reappears behind Lexi. So it's going to
great.
attack. Whoops, nope. I rolled for the big dog, which is very different.
Yeah.
And that's good because it only rolled. It does have advantage. So it rolls a 6 on the first one.
So this is not the wait. You're not rolling for the big dog right now.
No,
Okay.
I just hit the wrong button.
Got it.
So this dog, like, you think all of them are in front of you, and then you hear this sound, and suddenly one of them is like ineffectually like trying to bite your ankle and not making much progress.
This is literally his parents' dog.
Another one is going to, is going to run. Yeah, it's going to take an opportunity attack from Cyrus.
Okay. That doesn't, just on my next attack. Okay. $22.
That'll hit.
$4 damage.
All right. This hound sort of pulls away from you. You manage to sort of slash it across the back as it goes and lets out a but continues to run. And when it's about halfway between the two larger creatures, it also disappears and is going to pop back up behind Zyra.
Oh dear.
And he's going to get a 19 to hit.
What, Zyra?
Yeah,
Oh,
you rolled really well. They're not particularly fierce. 5 points of piercing damage.
ouch.
So you just have a second to see this one pop up behind Lexi, and then you realize, oh, there's something behind me, and this creature is biting at your ankles. And I will mark
Got
that.
rid of my calf.
All right. The remaining two are going to attack Cyrus. $19 to hit.
Yes.
5 points of piercing damage. The second one is a 15 to hit, which does not hit. So 2 of them have bamfed away, and the remaining 2 are still kind of like, kind of darting back and forth, and then one leaps forward and takes a little chunk out of you. The other, again, they keep getting coat, and not much is happening. That puts us down to Auric.
All right. So I got a big one in front of me and then a little one behind me where Lexi is.
Colby, I think you're muted.
You're muted.
Yeah.
I was reaching for a drink. Yes, Lexi is to your left, and it's behind her.
Okay. So no way to hit them both unless I do 2 attacks.
Right. Or if you have an area attack, you might be able to hit all 3 of them.
Well, I've got cones, so
Yeah.
I'll have to reposition anyway.
Yeah, if you were to like take a step back and shoot a cone, you could catch all 3.
I don't want to make the barbarian angry.
Please
Although
don't
maybe I
set me
should
on
make you
fire.
angry.
And the one behind Lexi is pretty low because that's the one that I got to hit before. It
Yes,
vanished.
it's pretty injured, and also has just used its teleport.
Okay. You know what? Magic missile,
All right.
because I can shoot 3 bolts
Yep.
anywhere I
How do you-
want.
How do you want to distribute those?
First one is going to go on the one that's the injured one at Lexi.
All
The other
right.
2 are going for the one that are on Zyra.
All right. Roll it.
So not at the hound that's in front of you.
Nope. So the one, 5 damage for the one on Lexi.
It is very hurt. If you would like to
And-
redirect those, you can.
8 damage on the one on Zyra.
All
That's
right.
the 2.
That's the one that took the opportunity attack. It is now also very hurt.
I should have upcast it to get another bolt. Oh well.
Okay, that was both bolts hitting. Yeah, because he said 8. I should have interrogated the 8 a little more on a 1d4 plus 1 spell.
Yeah.
All right, that was your action. Anything else?
Let's see. I think probably not, because that would. Oh, that is an action. Okay, yeah. No, because moving would get me bit.
Yeah,
That
probably.
would. All right.
So I start chattering in Fey at the dogs. Just bad puppy, bad puppy,
No biscuit.
no biscuit.
Make an insight check.
Insight.
Insight or animal handling, whichever you're better at. With a
Probably
12,
inside.
Insight, yeah.
you gather that it did understand you.
Oh, good.
You
Also,
are
before-
quite literally speaking its language.
Yes. Also, before the end of my turn, I still have prestidigitation from last session. I'm going to make more of my clothing taste very, very spicy.
All right. The shirt of spiciness plan it is. All right. That puts us up to the big pooches. The first one has, let's see. Oh, the first one can actually move forward and attack Cyrus. Now that some of the pups have cleared. First roll's a 12, but he has advantage. Second roll's a 7. So again, this thing comes up and I think your illusion is just totally throwing them. Like your body is not in the right places. I guess the detective is a little bit like maybe shorter than you. And so like they're like biting towards where limbs look like they are and they're not. And they're biting what looks like exposed skin and they're catching coat. It's very frustrated. The next one is the one that took the vicious mockery, and it is going to go for Lexi.
All right.
Uh, 15 to hit.
Oh, that just barely hits.
And that was with disadvantage.
Oh, you're right. It has pack tactics, so it's actually a flat roll.
Ah,
Although the other one was a 23. You take 6 points of piercing damage, and you need to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. Where is that? Right here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a 21 saving throw.
That'll do it. So this big wolf, it's kind of disoriented from whatever this magic Zyra just used on it, but it manages to get in and grab one of your legs, and it's a pretty solid, chunk, and it tries to pull you off your feet, and you just sort of like square your stance and are not moved.
Okay. That I
All
can
right.
handle.
much good there.
That puts us to Zyra again.
Lovely. I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery on one of the pups that's looking very hurt.
All right.
So the one on you is very
Oh,
hurt,
the one on me.
and
All right.
the one on Lexi is the most hurt, but there's one on you as well.
The one on me.
Yeah. Go for that one.
To make a wisdom save of 14.
All right. That's a 7.
It takes 2 points of damage.
It is more hurt and disoriented, but is not down.
Ah.
Sturdy.
It's like,
creatures.
And Lexi, how badly were you hurt?
I'm at 20 out of 32.
Okay.
But she can turn on damage resistance when she rages.
Yeah,
How are you?
I can rage. I'm probably going to rage. So
Anyone, so
Okay, I'm just gonna hold it then.
yeah, just hold up.
I'm gonna take that as the end of my turn.
All right. That puts us back to Cyrus. You now have 2 small hounds and 1 large hound.
and there's a big one on Lexi. There's a hurt one on Zyra. And there's
And
a
a hurt one on Lexi. And yeah, a hurt one on Lexi.
okay. All right, I am going to. I'm going to bonus action disengage
All right.
and step back to the side, and I'm going to shoot the one on. Protect the healer. I'm going to shoot the one on Zyra.
All right. So that is your bow. What are the ranges on your bow?
80 feet.
Okay, yeah, you're in range. So you kind of squeeze between some of the hounds. It's very sort of acrobatic. You just sort of tuck and roll, come up with your bow and fire.
10.
10 will not hit.
Okay.
So you've used your bonus action and action. You do still have about 20 feet of movement, and you have managed to get yourself out of melee range if you want to head back towards the party.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. So continuing to avoid the big dog. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you're about 15 feet from the other large hound, but that makes you about 20 feet away from Lexi and Auric.
Okay.
So you are kind of finding a battle line and reforming the party there. And it is now Lexi's turn.
All right, we gonna rage.
We gon' rage.
I think we will do equipment to simulate your rage.
Okay.
So,
We gon' rage sounds like a bluegrass metal song.
yeah, so equip that top one.
This one right here.
That's what I heard was like it starts with like banjo, but then like super distorted electric guitars come in.
All right.
Just be like going at it.
So I'm gonna attack the big hound with my ancient brewer's mallet. Where did I roll?
I think that was a crit.
Okay, because it's behind the little thing, so I can't see it.
It said
That
20.
is a natural 20. That's
That's a
fantastic.
crit. Okay, it literally landed behind the little die that's
The
the
little icon.
little icon that's on the bottom left. So I was
man.
like, I can't see
This is
it.
great. Do you want to read what happens when you roll a natural 20 with the ancient brewer's mallet?
Where is
Put
that?
on the
It's
name
in
of
the
that.
second paragraph, the second half.
Okay. Hold on.
Actually, I guess
gotta-
it's the last two paragraphs.
We gotta remove some things here so I can read.
Because I want to see Auric combo.
So, from here.
This is fantastic.
Okay. When you roll a 20 on an attack roll made with this weapon, the target takes an extra 2d8 acid damage from the attack as the weapon expels a corrosive burst of alcohol and vapor.
And then
For 1 minute after taking acid damage in this way, for the next time that the target takes fire damage, it takes an extra 2d8 fire damage as the lingering liquor ignites around them. Dealing acid damage again in this way resets the duration of the effect.
So
What I
roll
get for
a
being a bartender.
roll a bunch of damage.
All right, so what do I need to
so
roll?
roll the damage dice first.
Okay. There we go. The 5 is glitching.
There it goes. It got
I'm like,
confused.
So, and then the acid is 2d8.
okay, so just
So
run
down there, yeah.
just down here. Okay. Here, here. There you go.
We're thinking.
We're thinking 7.
Nice. So, I think we froze on.
froze. Okay.
There we go. You're back.
Yeah.
So, something wild happens here. You are pinned between these two fey hounds. The smaller one is nipping and biting at the back of you. This massive one is in front of you, and you just feel this overwhelming sense of righteous anger. You just feel it flood through you. It actually feels a lot like that surge that you sometimes feel running through loops. And you reach up and you take the ancient brewer's mallet, and when it comes down with the fury of all of these human heroes who have stood between monsters and the places of hearth and home and civilization, and all of this might and rage just comes flowing out of the hammer, hits this thing on the head, and the hammer bursts. And to you, it smells like some kind of delightful, strong liquor, but it burns this creature like acid. It just rears back, and it's pawing at its face and is just disoriented and very, very hurt. And the mallet is still like sizzling, and there's almost like semi-transparent vapor still just coming off of it.
All right.
All right, that puts
Smells like
us back up to the top with the very injured Pooch. It did not like seeing that.
Understandably so.
I'm going to go ahead and roll. It does not get its teleport back, but it doesn't care. It's going to try and run away. So
Okay.
you're going to get an attack of opportunity, and so is Auric.
Okay.
With my walking stick.
Not the coffee mug.
No.
19 to hit.
That'll hit. This will be Auric's first and only melee kill. It is. So this hound turns and tries to run. It makes it just like a few feet away. And Auric, you just turn around and just whip crack, wham! You smash this thing with your trusty walking stick, and it just.
It's like cricket. It's like you play cricket with the
Poor puppy.
Right, now here's what I want to know. Does it stay a dog?
It does.
Okay. I have been wondering this
Congratulations.
all week.
You've killed a dog.
Congratulations, you killed the dog.
Weird dog. A dog that looks like an alien.
I'm a little traumatized now.
Loads of it.
It was biting your ankles.
It was biting your ankles.
Exactly.
The other one's going to try the same thing. Zyra, you get an attack of opportunity.
So, rapier. Roll a rapier attack.
I don't have one.
Okay.
Do
roll,
I-
roll a dagger attack.
Okay.
It's a melee.
But I know I'm not an orange eye striking it. So that's a 13 plus 17.
That'll hit.
Okay. 5 damage.
It is almost dead. It is limping away. But you see it manage to get 5, 10, 15 feet away, and then it's gone.
Solid.
There are 2 dogs left who Cyrus sort of slipped past. They are. Yep, they are going to continue the chase. Checking some movement. They are not going to get anywhere near Lexi for a minute, though.
They're smart dogs.
So the 2 of them kind of turn as one, the 2 remaining smaller hounds, and they sort of dart forward, and then both of them flicker, and one is they're sort of diagonal, not perpendicular, diagonal of Auric now, sort of one to either side. Not technically flanking, but they got that pack tactics. First one rolls an 18. Second one only manages an 11 with advantage.
Against me, well, that's 1 hit.
Yep, 4 points of piercing damage.
Ow.
My own hound is sitting behind me and looking reproachful. All right, and that makes it Auric's turn.
All right. So those 2 are kind of diagonal on either side of me.
Yeah, you've got Big Wolf to your northeast, Small Hound to your southeast, another Small Hound to your southwest.
Of course. I could take a step and probably get bit a lot.
Probably.
That would be very unpleasant for you.
So I guess instead I will just cast Burning Hands on the big one.
All right. Oh my goodness. Uh,
So that is a dexterity save 14.
I'm not even sure he can survive even if he succeeds, but he doesn't succeed. You are almost for sure going to kill him. Yes, you already have killed him. So,
So I'm rolling the extra damage.
all right.
And it was full.
Oh my gosh.
That was max damage.
So, Oric kind of like looks around, considers what's going on, looks up the big hound that's still sort of reeling and covered in this sort of burning alcoholic vapor, and just like handheld, literally hand projecting flamethrower, and you just burn this thing up. It is utterly destroyed. All right. Anything else you would like to do?
I guess not. I will continue to reproach them in the Phaeton.
Make another insight check. So you've been observing them for a couple of rounds now. And you would know this. These are almost certainly Fey hounds, which are most of them are intelligent. This is not sort of a wild beast. And as you sort of reproach them again, you're sort of used to discerning emotion on non-humanoid faces. A lot of your neighbors would have been non-traditionally humanoid creatures. They look both conflicted and at a high level of pain. And these two haven't been hit yet, but they're kind of like wincing, and their ears are sort of tucked down. Their whole sort of body language is sort of tucked in and sort of almost defensive. It's not the impression you were expecting to get.
Okay. Guys,
All right.
I think the dogs are being forced to fight us.
Rick, what language, when you're speaking to them, what language are you speaking?
Let's say it's Elvish.
Double checking your languages.
It could be Draconic, Dwarvish, or Elvish.
Okay.
I would probably have been doing Elvish since I have a feeling about where we are, and that feels like it fits.
Yeah, they'd understand you in that.
Okay. I was curious if I was understanding that, but I'm not.
However, I should be able to understand what he's been saying.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Well, and Cyrus, you would hear this as sort of this is like the he's speaking sort of the German to your English, comparing sort of Elvish and Sylvan. The languages are so closely related that you just catch little like cognates and loan words, and you're getting about half of it.
Okay.
Process of elimination, deduction, reasoning.
There's
All
only so
right.
much way to say bad puppy.
The other large Fey hound was not happy with this sort of 1-2 combo from Lexi and Oric, and so it's going to go attack Lexi.
Bring it.
That's a 7.
Sorry.
So this thing sort of runs towards you, just those big, like thumping, resounding movements. And it gets right up to you. And you sort of take the ancient brewer's mallet and just shove it in its way. And it actually recoils a little bit. There is something about it that it does not like.
Okay.
And I would say even more so than just it's a big, scary weapon, but something about your weapon literally repulses this thing.
Okay. Because of what it witnessed with the other dog, or because of the weapon itself?
Even over and above what it just saw, something about
Okay.
the nature of the weapon alarms it.
Okay.
All right, it is Zyra's turn.
How many are up?
At this point, there are 2 small pups that have not been hurt and 1 large hound that has not been hurt. Y'all have done a very good job of sort of focus fire, taking out targets one at a time.
How are they grouped?
They're in sort of a almost an X pattern with Auric at the center. So it's like Lexi and Auric, and then the large wolf is to the northeast, small hound to the southeast, small hound to the southwest.
So I'm looking at sleep. Because something that Zyra would think about doing would be to sing a lullaby. And wondering if hold on.
You could catch all of them, but you'd be kind of guesstimating who has less hit points.
I'm doing that, but I choose. I forgot that. I forget this other. I can target the spell.
Ah, okay.
I forget I can target it. It's not just an area in effect. In that case, I'm just going to center it around the 2 smaller pups.
All right.
I don't assume that I will be able to sleep the others, but I'm gonna see if I can make the 2 smaller ones fall asleep. Because if as Auric said, they don't wish to be fighting us, then perhaps they just need to take a rest. So I'm doing that. I'm going to actually. Oh crap! Right, 5d8. Yes. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. $19. Neither of them go to sleep.
19 actually doesn't drop any.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Not even on the wife.
it was a tight one.
I was gonna say on an average, you had a pretty good shot of it hitting, but it was just a little on the low end.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah. All right.
So you sort of weave this lullaby out of these songs and stories, and it infuses with this magic and pours out of you, and you see them start to kind of like droop a little bit.
Deer eyes is what we call them.
Actually, make an Arcana check.
Oh crap! 22.
You're starting to watch for it now. As you start to see them nod, it looks like they're going to go down, and then there's this sort of visible, just for a second, this visible, it almost looks like a brand that sort of sizzles on like the back of their necks for just a second. And you'd almost think you had imagined it, except that it smokes for just a second afterwards. whatever magic you were using to try and put them to sleep bumps up against something that is compelling them to fight. All right. That puts us to Cyrus.
Y'all hit them again. I'll try and make them fall asleep.
Maybe I can get another nat 20.
All right, so there are two on Auric, two little ones on Auric, and the big one on Lexi.
Yes, and the big one's also in range of Auric. It just hasn't been attacking him.
Okay. All right, I am. So Cyrus is going to lift up the same finger that he pulled the nail off of, and point it at one of the little dogs, and mutter under his breath, and his eyes kind of turn for a minute, and I'm going to cast Hex.
All right. So as you point, there's still just a little bit of blood that has been dripping from where you just a few moments ago ripped this nail out of your finger, and then it grew back. That dripping blood like sizzles and burns away into this thick, dark smoke. And the smoke resolves itself into a couple of sort of gray feathers that just sort of drift through the air. And you hear the cawing of crows, and these sort of shadowy spectral crows descend on this hound. And you see it like visibly weakened in some profound way by this magic.
So I don't know if it makes any difference, but I'm going to target wisdom ability checks.
All right.
And then I rolled a 17 to hit.
That'll hit.
All right. So we're going to roll.
Are you closing to melee or shooting with the bow again?
Shooting with the bow.
All right.
So 7 for the bow, plus a d6 for Hex is 6 for 13, plus. Where did my sneak attack button go?
Poor little puppy.
Plus 8.
Good
so
Lord.
21 points of damage.
Yep, because it is in combat with Auric. You take it down almost to nothing in one blow. There's this horrible sound like a swarm of crows, and it sort of sweeps forward, and your arrow is like buried by this sort of cloud of spectral birds, and it hits the hound and knocks it sideways for a second, and it gets up, and you can see it's not only have you hit sort of a vital point, but the magic of the hex sort of kicks in a moment after the fact, and you can see the wound like visibly worsen, almost as if it's being sort of pecked and clawed and scratched by these spectral creatures.
Yep. That's what Cyrus is designed to do.
I'm a little scared now.
Yeah, seriously, who is this person?
Well, as far as you know, it's still Detective Avery.
Exactly. Who the hell does Detective Avery think he is?
I disbelieve this is some kind of thing.
I mean, to be fair, you did just see him like pull a bow from nothing. Like he clearly doesn't have one, pulls it out of thin air and shoots it with every sign of skill, and just all right. We are back to raging Lexi.
All right. So where are they positioned now? Because I know there's been some movement.
So the unhurt large hound has has repositioned itself exactly where the one you killed was.
Right.
You're still kind of in
That's
this
what I was
X
looking for.
formation with the other hounds.
All right. Well, he's gonna get the same treatment of the ancient brewer's mallet. Nope, no, not 20 this time,
But that is still a hit.
but it's still a hit. So let's see here.
Oh, make sure just for bookkeeping sake, you actually have a magic item that emulates rage. And it will
Okay.
like automatically add all your resistances and advantages and
What we told-
damage.
Yeah, Joe told me to put it on.
Awesome.
So then roll that.
So handy for barbarians.
Yeah.
You would think they would build it in, having a rage switch. Oh my
Okay. So 17 damage.
gosh. So you don't have as much of the craziness happen this time. It's just an incredibly powerful, forceful blow that just wham. And you hit this giant hound. I mean, this thing's the size of like a small car. And you hit it so hard, its head like comes down and it looks woozy for just a second. All right. Do you have anything else you want to do?
Nope.
You sure?
I don't think I have any other bonus actions other than rage. So I can't change what I'm doing.
All right.
Yeah.
So you all are now all sort of watching, except maybe Lexi, who is just smashing these giant wolves to death. The rest of you are maybe a little bit caught up in this drama of like, what's happening with these hounds? This is weird. And Zyra, since you saw it happen before, you see again that brand kind of sizzles and then goes dull. And the one that was fighting Auric, gonna do a roll. Oh, he gets it. The one fighting Auric teleports and is gone. It just tucks its tail and runs. So he is gone. His buddy is still going to attack. He's not been hurt yet. He's not a big dog. I'm wasting all my big rolls on clicking the wrong natural one. You can actually see sort of the conflict of this creature desperately wanting to run and not being able to. And it manifests itself as a lackluster bite. He is going to roll. He does not get his teleport back. It is Auric's turn.
Okay. I kind of want to try to intimidate it away, but it's clearly being compelled to fight, so I don't think it would work.
For reasons, I'm going to say that you could perhaps pull this off.
Okay,
For reasons.
for reasons.
For reasons.
Then I'm gonna just, start, berating it even more, but with very much a, included tone of "get the hell out of here."
All right, make an intimidation check.
How's a 19?
A 19 is going to do it. So you all are seeing all kinds of weird things from each other that is maybe a little bit alarming. This one is right up there. You see Auric turn, and when he turns, the air around him grows dark. And for just a second, it looks like he's wearing this this cloak of this sort of dark gray black material, but it's hard to tell if it's like ragged material in layers or if it is literally feathers, like a massive coat of dark gray feathers. And for a second, Auric doesn't look like Auric. His features kind of blur strangely. And you see a silhouette standing behind him that is, it's kind of blurry in the same strange way. And it's a tall female figure, but I mean, taller than Lexi, like 8-9 feet tall. And it looms up behind him for a second, and the hound loses its mind. It just starts yelping and crying and whining and runs. So that was a pretty good action.
Good job.
Would you like to use bonus action or movement?
Well, we still have the big one to worry about, right?
Yep.
And it's fairly unhurt, or is it?
It's taken one really solid hit from Lexi.
All right. Well, then I am going to use a couple of sorcery points to quick cast and upcast Burning Hands as a second level spell.
All right. So it's going to roll dexterity.
Dexterity of 14.
Oh, he comes in with an 18. So he's only going to take 6 points.
Ooh.
But that does push him over into looking very, very injured. All right. It is his turn. He is locked in combat with Lexi. He's going to go for it. He's still going to attack.
All right.
Cool. He crits.
All right.
Go ahead and make a strength saving throw while I roll a bunch of dice.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Zyra wants to use cutting words to reduce the damage roll by a bardic inspiration die.
All right. Whichever one of you wants to can roll that.
Oh, me.
Go for it.
Take 4 out.
All right. So this cornered wolf is frantic and desperate, but it's not running yet. It manages to just get in under the mallet, past your sort of defenses, and really just gets in a good bite. But between this sort of unknown force that is quite literally raging through you, and Zyra sees this happening and sort of throws out this arcane word of power, and the blow is just almost entirely dispersed. You only take 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
You all literally cut that by 75%.
That's fine.
Not that it's mattered because she made each of the saves, but she just noticed she has an
Advantage on
strength
strength
saves.
right now.
Yeah.
So I should have been rolling twice, but
Totem barbarians are ridiculous.
Yep.
And that makes it Zyra's turn.
I'm going to follow up with the words and continue with vicious mockery against the big puppy.
All right. So one word of power blurs into the next, and he's going to make his saving throw.
Wisdom 14.
Wisdom 14. Let's see. He gets a 6.
That'll be three points of damage.
He is so very hurt, but more importantly, he's now also disoriented. Your magical words assail his senses, and he's just kind of just frothing and bleeding. His blood isn't red. It's this sort of weird,
Is it ichor?
it's almost like a sort of opalescent, sort of like an oil patch in the sun color, where it's this sort of dark liquid, but there's this sort of rainbow of colors and like green and blue and purple sort of shining off of it where the light hits it. It's both beautiful and disgusting and horrifying. All right. Anything with your bonus action?
No, I'm good.
All right. That puts us back to Cyrus.
All right. So real quick with Hex,
You can move it as a bonus action.
you can't. Okay. I wasn't sure if if the previous target had to have actually dropped to 0. And so if that one managed to bamf away, if I would have to recast it.
No, as long as you use that bonus action, you can shift it to a new target.
Okay. Then I will bonus action shift it to the big puppy.
All right. This cloud of crows just sort of almost bleeds out of the tree line as this smoke and shadow and encircles this creature, and they're just sort of calling and flying above it.
And shoot it. 19.
That'll hit. You don't kill it with all of these damage dice, I'll be very surprised.
$15.
All right. You actually even had it before the hex, but yeah, again, you pull back, and this cloud of sort of spectral birds swoops across. Your arrow flies through the air and and the birds descend. And this thing is just pecked and scratched, and it just falls over limp. All right. It's right about this time where your disguised self starts to fade.
Okay.
So what the rest of you see is that Detective Avery, with his short bow, suddenly wavers and fades, and there is someone entirely different standing there, a human man with long dark hair, wearing a scruffy looking coat. Actually, no, your coat is, you're still wearing a policeman's uniform.
Yeah. Just the face. The build changes, but the coat stays the same.
But it's very noticeable because Detective Avery is black. So we're having a real life.
Surprised.
And Cyrus is white, is Asian descent, is Cyrus.
What?
I'm not gonna lie, I did anticipate the whole not being you thing, but I figured you were gonna be Faye.
Hi, human.
Nope. Not Faye.
Well, that doesn't answer any of my questions, but it does render many of them moot.
Well,
All right.
questions later. We got somebody to find.
Yes.
Are there any puppies left?
Most of them ran, but there's one corpse of the large one was incinerated. This one is still there, and I think one of the smaller hounds actually died. Yeah, I think Auric turned around and smacked it.
Yes.
So they are dead in the grass. And actually, you all kind of see, and Auric would be familiar with this process. It's very slow, but there's these sort of motes of light that are just starting to sort of come away and just sort of linger just slightly off the surface of the corpse. Just for fun, all y'all make a religion check, and Auric has advantage.
I rolled a
Nat
1
one.
and I have a -1.
She got a 0?
I got a 0.
Well, I got a 18.
2 nat ones.
I got an 18.
Yeah.
I love
And
when
two
the
18s.
dice narratively land perfectly, because you're the two who would know this.
That's true. Yeah.
So Zyra, because of your study of, you're just this repository of all of this folklore and myth and fairy legend. And Auric, like, you're from here. So you recognize Fae don't necessarily die the same way that mortals do. It's part of what makes them such strange neighbors to each other. Because Fae, each individual Fae is in some way a projection of fairy itself, which is in turn this sort of weird back and forth symbiotic relationship with the mortal world. And so this particular version of this creature is dead, but the essence that there is this Fae hound is being sort of released back into fairy, and eventually a new Fae hound will form of this same essence. It's not as noticeable on sort of weaker Fae. They don't tend to accumulate story and myth and legend, but it's more noticeable on like really powerful Fae, because they're shaped by those things and they return to roughly the same shape and appearance and personality that they had before. So what else do y'all want to check?
Be a dog with a vendetta against me.
No, it won't actually remember you.
Okay,
It's,
good.
it's not, it doesn't have enough personality to
Right.
retain it through this period. Also,
Okay.
even for a small Fae that's going to sort of reincarnate more quickly, it'll still probably be your whole human lifetime before it
Okay.
comes back.
So
Good to know.
I'm going to go to the one that I kind of hit while it was trying to run, and kind of I'll guiltily pet its head, and it's not really a blessing so much as just wishing it a better life next time.
You feel just sort of like a faint warmth, and there's almost like a gentle bell chime sound as you reach through these gathering motes of light. And it's not lit up now, but you can actually see, and you would again recognize this. I shouldn't say that. You're close, you're touching it. Make a medicine check.
Make a medicine check. Oh boy, straight roll. All right, 16.
All right. You notice two things. The same sigils that Zyra had been noticing, you can actually see now where it's been sort of almost burned into the back of this thing's neck. You also notice, though, it's not been burned with fire. It's been burned with cold iron, which gives you kind of like a gross, sick feeling in your stomach. Almost like when you see someone else get hit in a vulnerable body area really hard, and you feel that sort of sympathetic, like, oh, that's what you feel looking at this. It quite literally looks like this one has been branded with cold iron. There's no heat to it, but there is this natural um, toxic burning quality when cold iron is brought up against the Fae.
Well, I guess I have something to report when I can get in touch with Steve.
Anything else?
Colby, would that be more like an ice burn?
Something like that. Ice burn, allergic reaction, even. It's, but you can see the shape of it. It's such a strong reaction that like there's sort of redness all around it, but this one spot is like burned black in this sort of clearly arcane sigil. All right.
Do I recognize the sigil?
All y'all can make an Arcana check.
Dice fail me.
17.
Another 0.
Womp womp.
Another nat one.
All right. Yeah, so the rest of you are sort of perplexed by this.
Lexi doesn't notice.
Zyra, you're perplexed for a different reason. What you're seeing is counterintuitive. It does not make sense to see this sigil burned with cold iron. The sigil is a kind of, the closest human comparison would be like a signet ring. It's the identifying marker of a powerful Fey noble. And it has a compelling effect on less powerful Fey, especially Fey who are sort of in their same domain. But to see it done in cold iron is bizarre.
Because anyone who would be in the Fey nobility would not wield cold iron.
It would be akin to a god committing blasphemy.
Yeah, it's kind of in that same neck of the woods. It's something just,
It's an amicable tool.
yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around. So you have this very strange sigil on these creatures. You're still kind of hearing weird sounds around you all. The snoring and sort of the rummaging is continuing to the north of you, sort of directly north. To the east, you can still hear the sound of those bottles breaking. And you're actually even close enough now that you can hear like, it sounds like somebody's having fun and they're just smashing bottles and giggling about it.
Would Zyra recognize the giggles?
Make a perception check.
Oh, 10.
They don't sound like anyone you know. It's definitely not like Archie sitting over there like
I was gonna say, if anybody's heard Archie giggle when he's drunk, it's probably me.
My first question, and see, why didn't we?
I think I was headed towards the sound of the ransacking and snoring in the first place, so I'm pretty sure I'm headed back
Yeah.
in that direction.
I don't know who you are, but I think I'd rather stick with you than.
Yeah.
Well, we're not gonna wander separately. Let's just not.
All right. I'll kind of group
Sure.
y'all up.
Has
So
rage ended yet?
continuing past where you fought the Fey Hounds, you see the trees / bookshelves on either side kind of it sort of forms a T intersection ahead of you. There's sort of a solid wall of trees past you, and it looks like it kind of opens to the right and it sort of opens to the left. If you go to the left, you imagine you would encounter the snoring and rummaging.
Let's go there.
Yep.
Do it.
You two lead the way.
Hey.
Stay all together again, or do you want me to sneak again?
Sneaking didn't quite work as well as we had hoped.
Fair.
But did you die?
No, what?
But some puppies got hurt.
That is true. All right. Use my handy dandy Twitch overlay just to look at everyone's health real quick.
Half.
It's a really nice tool that I kind of wish D&D Beyond would just integrate on their own, so that you can like look and see all of your players' health and general well-being at once.
Mhm.
I think whenever they get the combat tracker integrated with the game log, it'll probably have that.
Yeah, it right now the character sheets, the game log, and the combat tracker, they all work, but they don't play well together yet. They're just kind of there.
Yeah.
All right. You all are pretty battered. So you hear this sort of sound of commotion off to the left of you, sort of where you're trying to head. And so you all just want to go on in.
I think sneak. I mean, if we're close enough that like we're like heading in, I'd still want to try to do it quietly.
Yeah. When you say
We're not-
head on in,
we're not
I'm
barging
in.
So what I'll say is you're sort of, I've sort of stopped you at the threshold where someone would be able to look out and see you who is sort of off in that direction. Do all of you want to try and sort of peek around and do a group stealth check? Or do you just want to have Cyrus poke his head around?
Cyrus, you looking. You see what you see.
Okay. Oh, not one for a 6.
Real quick, I'm casting minor illusion to put some tree branches in the entryway.
Ooh, quick draw. All right. Auric, make a spell attack roll.
Okay.
24.
24.
All right. So here's sort of the sequence. Cyrus gets his head around the corner and takes a few steps to kind of figure out what's going on. You only manage to see a couple of things when how does this express itself? So I think you were doing everything right. You're well trained. You know how to do this sort of thing. You just there's been almost nothing on the ground this whole time. Just some sort of like fully growing things, no branches, no leaves, no nothing. You come around this corner and maybe you've been lulled into sort of a false sense of security, and you step on the driest, crunchiest brown leaf, and it's like a gunshot. Like it just carries. And here's what you see. First, there are in fact leaves scattered all over this space where there haven't been before. The trees here are actually glowing more brightly than you've seen in other places. You see a couple more of the small velociraptors that you saw earlier. You see what looks like a female figure sort of rifling through what looks to be maybe Archie's desk. It's very weird. It's this big open forest space, and there's like a desk and a desk chair and a couple of boxes. And this female figure is sort of like looking through stuff and just throwing and opening drawers and like is very frustrated. But of immediate concern is a massive creature. You have only seen this in science textbooks and fiction. It is some kind of giant. No, that's not true. You've seen it in science textbooks and fiction, and you also saw it fly past a window just before you all appeared in this space. There is a T-Rex with this mottled dark gray skin, sort of curled up and snoozing contentedly. But at the sound of that crunch, this thing whips its head up, and you see that its face has these like spiraling orange red patterns, and they're sort of really heavy across the lower jaw, and then form sort of a frame across the upper face.
Is Archie
And
a
this-
redhead?
This thing turns and goes, and it's turning in your direction. It seems to have sensed you, and Auric just manages to just desperation play, fling this illusion of like another segment of trees and and branches and bookshelf over you. So they're kind of like, you see it kind of like looking around, but it hasn't like started to move towards you.
Okay.
What do you all want to do? In the time we've been playing, Duolingo has sent me 5 notifications.
Too many. I've probably gotten that many text messages from my mother.
It's like, Mom, we are in the middle of something.
Yeah, I want to stop the woman, but I don't really want to fight a T-Rex.
Yeah.
I don't know if charm person would work on him.
Yeah.
Technically a person in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically.
Technically.
You'd definitely be getting into tricky territory.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you might want to figure out in like a laboratory setting, not maybe here.
Yeah.
Fair. Right there. Oh, would a message work?
It'd be another one you'd have to try.
Well, it's a much cheaper try.
All right. Message is 120 feet less.
Okay. Through solid objects, if you're familiar with the target.
Oh, hey, I got that right. I probably have been watching too much D&D live play. Yes, you would be able to sort of you know at least he would be in range. You don't necessarily know what else might happen with this creature.
I don't know what I want to say. Archie, don't hurt us. Archie, your friends are here.
You missed my show.
Archie, your desk is in danger.
I've got a story for you. Archie, hit her. That's now
Ooh.
way too many words.
Make a
Persuasion?
I think it's got to be animal handling. This creature has an intelligence of like 2.
You can't persuade an animal? No, you can't. It's not even a performance? No. Okay.
I mean, I think the easy rule of thumb is if it's smart enough to talk, persuasion. If it's not smart enough to talk, animal handling.
Okay. 11.
You know what? I'm going to give you advantage on this roll because you have come to the fair conclusion that you know what and who this is. And so you're appealing to that pre-existing relationship.
Dirty 20.
All right. So what you get back isn't quite words. Your brain hears it as sort of a low series of like growls and grunts and huffs. But you kind of feel like you might have nudged something.
How far away is the desk?
The desk is like all the way back into this clearing. It is past the T-Rex. It's past this, or it's back towards this woman. So it's probably 110 feet.
Okay, and that's where the woman is too.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's the one who's been sort of rifling this desk.
Okay, so definitely not in my 30-foot spell range.
No. You did catch sight of some other creatures and things in this area that might be reachable, but she's definitely not, and neither is the desk.
What was the plan? Because if it's damage, I can do that. But if it was anything besides damage,
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering about trying to incapacitate her with the spell, but
Right. Yeah.
I-
It seems like she may easily be the cause of the dinosaurs.
yeah, I can't get close enough.
She has made dinosaurs out of college students. Granted, sometimes college students are like velociraptors.
especially when there's food on the table.
Yes.
Vicious
Free food.
creatures.
Let's see. So I can't like everything I got's 30 feet. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to try and take her out, I can just start peppering her with fire, but that's going in loud.
Going in, you might as well go loud. Granted, if we're going to start another round of combat, we might need to wait until next week.
I figured on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
But I thought you all could maybe figure out how you wanted to go in a little bit before we call it.
yeah.
Are we going big or going home?
We could always just go see what was breaking bottles.
I thought this was what was breaking.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the rummaging and snoring.
This is the rummaging. Okay.
Maybe it's a friend. I doubt it.
I doubt it.
I mean, at this point, you're fairly certain that the T-Rex is or was Archie. and you feel like Zyra's message has reached it on some level. You don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but it does seem to have had some kind of effect.
So
I would say probably focus fire on the woman.
Go
Yeah.
for it.
All right. So we're gonna leave off in this very strange and tense situation.
Dun, dun, dun.
Cyrus is sort of peeking around the corner, and now there's this phantasmal short tree. All the other trees are like 50 feet tall, and this one's like 5 feet tall because of the spell. So you're now tucked behind this phantasmal tree. The T-Rex has woken up. And started to kind of, it's sort of like looking around thoughtfully, evaluating its circumstances. There's leaves all over the ground, and there seems to be a female figure in the back, rifling through what seems to be a normal desk in the middle of this forest. All right. Well, you all will have all week to come up with some kind of clever means of approach, and we'll
All the
see.
leaves.
We'll see what happens next time. I'm gonna go ahead and cut our stream. For anyone who watched, thanks for watching. All right, we are off stream. So y'all can have all week to figure out exactly how you want to handle this.